We're rolling.
Welcome back, everyone. Episode 100.
The century.
100. You got to do the bell.
100.
Episode 100 of the Jiu-Jitsu Dummies podcast, brought to you by Black Belt Digital Marketing. Anything you need to build your business on or offline.
Or in bed.
So that's website design, Google Ads, graphic design, printing, embroidery. You name it, we could do it.
Whatever.
Origami.
Check us out at Black Belt Digital Marketing on Instagram, or check out our website, bbdigitalmarketing.com. You can request a free review of your online presence today.
Think they'll get upset for fucking up their spot there?
What's that?
BB Digital Marketing.
Damn, what are they? No, it's too early.
Very early.
I'm the owner of Black Belt Digital Marketing. My name is Milton Campus. I'm a brown belt training out of South Florida. Bo behind the camera.
100.
I'm like, where's the? Did I have the stripe thing in there?
No. Yeah, it's good that you didn't say it.
I didn't say it.
I'm a
I'm a
three
one stripe, no belt.
That was just the one time.
Yeah.
I'm a one stripe,
Bo
no
behind
belt.
the camera. Miguel riding shotgun.
What's up?
Shout out to our booking manager, Britt. Thank you for setting this podcast up today.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
Don't forget to like, comment, share, and click that subscribe button. We'd really appreciate it.
The alert.
You can find us everywhere at Jiu-Jitsu Dummies, right? So Instagram, Facebook,
TikTok.
We're on LinkedIn. We have a page on LinkedIn.
Wow.
TikTok is at Jiu-Jitsu Dummies Podcast.
Right.
And the YouTube is also
I'm really glad that one's short.
YouTube. YouTube is also Jiu-Jitsu Dummies Podcast. Which one's short? What are you saying?
The TikTok one.
Jiu-Jitsu Dummies
It's real easy. It's real easy on the
Incorporated.
thumbs.
Nobody's
Oh,
typing it in. You're like,
that's hilarious.
Jiu-Jitsu. I told you.
You did.
I told you the story about
Yeah.
did I say that on
you
air?
said
or
it
did I
on
tell you
air,
that?
I believe. Yeah.
It was, Bo, do you remember? I was so happy to see that I typed in, I just typed in Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah,
And it
And the drop
auto-populated.
down, the auto-populate came down, and we were in the auto, like high in the auto-populate on
made
a
it.
phone that has nothing to do with us.
We made it,
Nice.
boys.
That's never even seen
That's
us.
cool.
While
So
your
it's kinda cool.
wife
We
and
made it!
while your wife and the T-Mobile employee were just like watching paint dry, even though the phone was done.
We have arrived. We can retire now.
Yes. Bye,
All right,
guys.
so did I say, yeah, don't forget to click the little bell for the notifications on YouTube as well, right? You get a notification every time we add a video, and
it
we're
helps
trying to
us
do, we do 4 episodes a month. We got our shorts and our clips that we put out, but we were just talking about it. I'd like to maybe even increase how many episodes we're putting
Our
out
new
every
OnlyFans
month.
page.
I'm
yeah.
trying to, you know,
Where
put
we
food on the table.
our OnlyFans page is just pictures of Bo's feet.
Yeah.
So
and
No,
and
dude, actually, you could do jiu-jitsu moves there.
no, I know it's
Yeah.
for real.
There's
It
like
turned
legit
into a
stuff,
sex
yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Of course, anything turns into a
I don't.
sex
I've
thing.
never been on his OnlyFans, but who's the Australian? Which he's you know, I'm
Craig Jones.
Craig Jones.
Yeah.
Craig Jones. I don't know if he does like just moves or funny stuff. Do you know what
he
he, does
probably
there?
does. I don't know. I don't even have an
I'm sure he's
OnlyFans.
like in every once in a while in his
Butthole
little
close-up.
Yeah.
leopard
His butthole
leopard
close
undies.
up.
Yeah, I just, you know,
No, bulge shots.
Yeah. All right, let's we got a lot going on, so let's we want to get right into the show, but let's we got a couple other shout outs. Thank you to our friends over at Flow and Roll, hands down the best custom gi and no gi gear in the business.
what up, Sean?
Let me, you know what, I wasn't going to show it. I don't have the rash guard yet, but these I got these shorts from Sean. He was
They're
down
dope.
in at New Breed. I love, talk about the designs. Number one,
Oh,
I
sweet.
love these shorter
Very
shorts. I'm a
Colors
big guy,
pop.
so they probably look a little bit bigger. But check out this
Yeah.
design.
It's like a little
Can you see?
Hawaiian.
yeah,
see that
that's how you
design
hold
there?
It's
it.
a lion with a cigar.
Nice.
Look how awesome. I mean, talk about the artwork. I
Very
mean, it's just
cool.
amazing.
It's also
I got the rash
like
guard on
grayed
its way.
out.
He didn't have my size. He didn't have my rash guard. So he's sending it out. But amazing. They're like super thin.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know.
I like them.
The designs don't get screwed
they're
up
nice.
like everything else that I've gotten. Like it always
Yeah.
wears or
You wear spats underneath,
even
right?
here under this.
Yeah.
No, he goes
No.
commando.
I don't go commando.
yeah.
I actually wear
Compression
2 pairs
shorts?
of like compression underwear.
You got
Yeah.
like
the worm.
Reeboks. I wear like the Reebok.
Do you own a
underwear.
pair of spats?
Yes.
You let the
Those
worm
things are
squirm.
comfortable.
I wore them for a little bit. I have a bunch, but it just wasn't my thing.
Not your thing.
You don't let the worm squirm.
But Flo,
No, dude. You don't let the worm squirm. That's something we got to talk about.
I wear
Somebody
two.
pins- somebody
I wear
pins you
two
down by the dick.
pairs of compression. I wouldn't even call them compression, but without the
Yeah.
hole, like the Reebok underwear,
gotcha.
like the sport.
Oh, I know
I
what
wear
you're
2
talking
pairs of them just to keep.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, sometimes things
It'll
wiggle
decide,
around and
you know,
somebody
yeah.
gets a knee in there. Like it's a little extra, like on the junk. It's so comfortable. It's the most comfortable kind of way
Keep
I
everything
found.
out of the way.
Yeah, it's got to,
We got to
keep it
talk, not now, because I know, we got to get this going, but we got to talk about Spats guy with no shorts on top one day. We talked about that with Kent Peters because he does that.
Yeah.
Remember that for our solo episode that we're doing in December.
Yeah, that's going to be a discussion. Coming soon, y'all.
So again, look, incredible no gi gear. They do custom gis. They've always have some specials running. Go check them out at flow_n_roll, flowandroll.com, or send them an email at flowandroll@gmail.com.
Right.
They've got an incredible pre-order program.
Mm-hmm.
Their shit's off the hook.
For gym owners.
I'll put my reputation behind it. They have the best stuff that I've ever purchased. Like again, the Nogis. It doesn't wear. It doesn't get the those
and
little
the price point
fuzz
is
balls.
great.
Yeah, I mean, and affordable.
Yep.
He's at a lot of the events here in Florida. Again, he was at the New Breed in Coral Springs. So go check him out. And if you order anything online, get 20% off with code JJD.
That's right. OG.
All right?
I think I might go get that Roush, the Peace Love Jiu-Jitsu one because I really like it.
Yeah.
Just
get on there, bro.
shorts and-
Get on to the pre-order.
Pre-order.
Thank you to the BJJ box. I got a tracking number today. We've got another one on the way. Obviously not in time for today's show. But thank you to Tony and the BJJ box for all of your support. They're Jiu-Jitsu's favorite monthly subscription box, right? It's delivered to your door filled with premium Jiu-Jitsu and grappling apparel, equipment, supplements, supplies, snacks, and a whole lot more. They basically find the best products in the world of Jiu-Jitsu and guarantee every box is going to be worth more than you paid, okay? Or excuse me, more than the cost, right? So more than the cost of the individual items. Each box includes 4 to 7 items that you're going to love, all right? Use coupon code JJD10 to get $10 off your first order. And again, we've got a new box coming. We'll do an unboxing on the next episode.
Yep.
Thank you to Neutral Zone Clean, right? Check them out at neutralzoneclean.com and at Neutral Zone Clean on Instagram and Facebook. Again, this is you probably heard us talk about Neutral Zone CBD. This is not CBD. This is Neutral Zone Clean. These are hygiene products. 0 CBD in these, right? This is all about being clean on the mats, training, your personal life. Keep them in your car. I carry a canister everywhere I go. I didn't bring my canister up from the car today. I forgot. But we got this big bad boy. You want to get that, Miguel? Can you get it?
Yeah.
Don't be a funky,
Look at that canister.
Don't be a funky.
I love
junkie.
that one.
Gym owners.
So
Amenities.
yeah, I mean,
For your students.
tell them a little bit about the wipes. Non-toxic.
Yeah. A lot of natural ingredients.
Plant-based ingredients.
Yep.
All natural. Kills all the yuckies.
Yep.
There's
Paraben free.
Yep.
Non-toxic. Plant-based ingredients.
look.
1,200 counts in this big guy.
This
right
one's
here.
a 1,200 count. This is great for a gym, right? A
Right.
gym owner that wants to put them in the, just put
Or
'em next to
people
the
who
mat.
run events.
Or events, jiu-jitsu
Yeah.
events, wrestling events, really just about anything that you can think of.
Schools.
Think about
What about this? You remember gym in school? Like you don't have time to
It's a
shower
different-
sometimes.
It's a different world now.
Yeah, well, you don't have time to shower. I never had time to shower. You would go to gym and then go straight to history class or something like that. I was talking about just
Out the
this.
door.
If the
Yeah.
school had this,
Yeah. So they're running a
good
special.
idea.
We've got a special a special coupon code, I should say, for the bucket. All right.
Zabak.
This is normally like $109.99. Use code JJDGIFT to get $10.99 off
and free shipping.
and free shipping. If you order anything else, they're going to give you free shipping on those items as well. All right. So go check them out at neutralzoneclean.com. This awesome company named Black Belt Digital Marketing built their website. All right. Check them out. And don't forget, if you send us your receipt, obviously your credit card information won't be on there, but you can redact any of the information that you need to. Send us a copy. Either DM it to at Jiu-Jitsu Dummies on Instagram or info@jiu-jitsudummies.com. You'll send it over. We'll enter you into a drawing of up to $250 worth of Jiu-Jitsu swag. Probably some stuff from Throw and Roll. Maybe we'll get some stuff from Neutral Zone as well. But send us those receipts. We'll enter you into the drawing. We were waiting for our rash guard, the Peace Love Jiu-Jitsu rash guard.
We're still waiting for it,
Flow and Roll.
technically.
It is on pre-order on the Flow and Roll site. But again, send us your receipts if you buy anything from any of our sponsors, and you're going to be entered into that drawing.
right.
And it will be more than $250 worth of gear. Shout out to Neutral Zone CBD as well.
That's over there
right?
now.
Same owners, different products. No matter if your aches and pains are coming from lifting weights at the gym, rolling on the mats, or just the daily grind of life, Neutral Zone has a product for you. Right? Find your Neutral Zone by finding the best product for your pain wellness so you can continue your active lifestyle. I put that on. Is that I
roller?
put that one there? It's like almost empty, right?
No,
Oh,
that's
this
a
is the
full one.
Okay, I put mine back in the
Roll
bag.
on.
I put it on before I came up. And
Yeah.
I put it on at the house. I threw it in my bag. Always with the neck pain. I come in here sometimes and it's like, whole day at the computer.
Yeah.
Put it on my neck. That's my favorite out of just about everything. It does the job and it gets me going pretty quickly. Get that pain going. Pain gone pretty quickly. So love it. Check them out. NeutralZoneCBD.com and at MyNeutralZone on Instagram. Use code
JJD
for
25% off.
yes,
Yeah.
25% off at NeutralZoneCBD.com.
Congratulations. You
And again,
nailed
thank
it.
you, Mike and Candy, for all your support.
Everything.
Absolutely appreciate it and love working with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that's it. Is that everything?
I
Well, we did that
believe-
quick.
I believe so.
Let's interview the guest.
Let's do it. Let's get Marco.
Let's get
on.
Marco in here. Let's do it.
All right.
100. How did you? Not
100.
10th planet. Okay. 100. Is that 100 or is that 001? I do the 100. Let's get him in here, bro.
Get the right
Let's do it.
fingers up.
Let's
Get the
do
right
it.
fingers.
100. Right, yeah. That way. 100's on that side. It's 00. It's episode 1.
It's episode 1.
All right, let's do this. We're in
Let's
there
do
ready? All right. How you doing, Marco? Welcome.
Hey, great. I'm doing great. Thank you.
I mentioned before this is episode 100 for us, so thank you for doing this. It's a very special
Nice.
episode.
Century.
Thank you.
Good.
So you're you used to live down here in South Florida,
Yeah.
right? You're up in was it Jersey?
Jersey, Northern Jersey now.
Yeah. How long were you down here? When did you leave?
So I left in 97.
Okay.
And I was down there for almost 15 years.
Okay. Family,
Yeah.
family, school. What were you down
Yeah,
here
I
for?
went to I used to live before that in North Carolina and before that in St. Louis, Missouri, but we moved down to Florida, South Florida, Boca Raton area.
Yeah.
Went to high school, Spanish River Sharks, yeah. And then went to University of Florida.
Yeah.
And then I was working down in Miami for a while until I got kind of sick of it. And then, honestly, it was the weather. A lot had to do with it.
Yeah.
It was like the heat and humidity was just getting to me. It was like curling my hair and
When
so
you had hair?
yeah, exactly.
Is this voluntary or is this forced?
This is an acceptance of nature, right?
Yeah.
So my hair was no longer receding. It was in full retreat. It was in full retreat. And so I said, the only way I can win this battle is, and I started shaving. So
I convinced my father many moons ago. My father had the little like the clown. He had it around curly hair around the
Yeah.
sides, and then the little guy right here in the middle.
Ooh.
And I got him to I shaved his head for the very first time way back in the day. But I'm voluntary under here. I shave it myself.
He's got
But,
he's got a great hairline.
My brother-in-law, he's fighting at every step. He gets the same like short fade. That hairline's about down to the middle of his head.
Yeah.
yeah, I used to get the Caesar cut back in the day when it was
Yeah.
popular.
Yeah.
Just like combing down, but then when it got wet, I just looked I looked so ridiculous.
Curly hair, like curly. Is it?
Well, yeah,
Right, it was
the
just
waves with this.
Yeah.
I used to get a Caesar back in the day. Yeah.
I used to leave it a little longer. Now it's.
I'm just like, I'm curbing inflation by not getting
Yeah.
a haircut. I'm just like, look how long this is. This is ridiculous right now.
I'm envious. So
Yeah. Don't be.
I'm happy. No hair, man. Get up in the morning. No, don't have to brush anything.
Everybody at home hates it. My mom tells me to cut it every time she FaceTimes me.
I still use shampoo and conditioner on my hair. Believe it or not.
Yeah?
I mean, I'm here. This is where I'm at.
I barely shower.
Yeah. He doesn't shower. He's like, what's shampoo? So, Marco, let's talk about this. We're a jiu-jitsu pro. We're going to go all over the place. I know there's a lot to talk about. I think a lot of people will recognize you from your Instagram. I mean, that's where I know you from and first started following you. A lot of people know you from your dance videos. But let's start with martial arts and jiu-jitsu How did you get into jiu-jitsu? I think I heard that you probably started around the same time that I did, but tell us your story.
Yeah, so I was doing karate in town locally, and I realized it's a lot of people start kind of that.
It is. It's like Taekwondo or karate.
It's
Exactly, right?
It's the gateway martial art.
yeah, it's like marijuana, right?
Yeah.
And so I realized that the only aspect of it that I really liked was the sparring.
Yeah.
And you can only do so much sparring in kind of the full contact Taekwondo or karate. So I didn't get enough of it, and I kind of dropped it. And I was just searching around, and a friend of mine at the time said, "Hey, come try this out." And I did, and I just fell in love. And I especially just loved the aspect that you're actually you're executing what you've been learning, and you're sparring, and that kind of just those endorphins just kick in. And every time I go out there and train, and that's why I think it's become so addictive with many people. And for me, the same way. So I started at the age of 44. That was like 9 years ago.
Okay.
And I've been very regular, training probably between 3 to 6 times a week, except for like a couple of times when I had injuries. And so I've been just lucky to be able to manage my life in a way that I've been able to do that. But that's kind of how I got into it.
What was the transition? What sparked the jiu-jitsu? How did you find jiu-jitsu itself?
Well, the funny thing is actually really close to my house, and the location of our school is such that everyone passes it, so everyone knows it's there. And it was a matter of someone nudging me enough to take my first class. And I think that's what it is, once you take that first class, I think it just starts that snowball and you're in it.
Whether you like
but
it
it's
or not.
getting that foot in the door.
Yeah. I think we're always talking about it. Jiu-jitsu is love it or hate it.
Yep.
There's not a lot of in between. There's not like you can't be like, well, I go to the gym once in a while. I ride the bike. If you're not going to jiu-jitsu regularly, it's going to be miserable for you. You're not going to be happy.
There's no casuals. That's what we say. There's no casuals.
You get the occasional guy that comes up, like tries to get restarted and his heart's in the right place, but it just never works out.
Yeah.
I saw one of those last night at Open Mat. I'm like, where have you been? He's like, he's been a white belt for like 3 years now.
Yeah.
That whole bit. So
that also sounds like fun.
What?
To just be like a 5-6 year white belt.
And just crushing everybody.
Yeah, exactly. No expectations.
What did your family have to say about? I could say, okay, karate, not so bad, but jiu-jitsu, right away. Once people understand it, they're like, oh, that ground stuff from the UFC, right? What did your wife think? You've got kids. What did they think?
Yeah, they didn't really think much of it. I mean, I always do my own stuff, and so they didn't really think that much of it. They didn't really know what I was doing either. I tried to get my oldest daughter into it, but she didn't like the whole touching people aspect of jiu-jitsu. At that age, it was like kind of like, back then she was like, I don't know, 12 or something. And you're like,
I hear that's a hard time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, and I really wish she would have, and she still might now, but I think she just has. I think she'd be very natural at it to a certain extent. But other than that, they've never been to the school. I've done once to the school, and that's about it. They haven't seen me compete, and I don't really want them to see me compete. I'm just like good. I like having my own thing, and it's just my thing, and I love it. And so they really aren't that involved with it.
With kids, you got to get them real early.
Yeah.
Or you got to wait till after they're like when they're grown, and it's just like I want to try something after college.
My question for you is, I feel like a lot of people always harp on the like, oh, you started old. What are the hard things about starting old? I want to go the opposite way with it. What are the blessings at starting over 40?
I love that question because I'm a huge proponent of this sport and this activity, and as for people older, right? That like middle-aged, and you can think of 30 as middle.
That hurts, Marco.
Yeah, I know. Right? But 40 and 50-year-olds, I teach a class 3 days a week. And it's a noon class. And then I've actually also been every day this week I've been teaching because our other, the professor, he's not there. So I've been covering for him. But in that noon class, I have, a rotation of probably about 15 over 40 guys, and is just wonderful to see them come in and just they accept what it is. They really buy into it. You see like a transformation in their health and their mental health as well, because a lot of them are just like overworked or something like this, and it's just a release for them. I really think it's rejuvenating. I've been in the best health just physically, except for a back issue, which is unrelated, but the best health I've ever been in my life. I'm the happiest I've ever been. And I really try to push that and promote that with the older folk, especially.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
middle age hurts a little bit, but I'm there. I try not to say it too much.
You started at like 40, didn't you?
41, right?
Yeah.
I started just a couple weeks before my 41st birthday, so I started late as well. My answer to that question is actually that what is the kind of the blessing of starting older? I was never this disciplined. I would have never stuck this out. I would have never stuck it out through injury. I would have never stuck it out through gotta get up. I maybe we spoke about this on the last episode, but I know I told a friend this the other day. I go to sleep early. I was telling my daughter, I go to sleep earlier on a Friday than I do all week, just so I can get up early to stretch at home to be ready for open mat on a Saturday. That's when you know you're addicted. My wife and I, luckily my wife does some kickboxing, so she's got an early class on Saturdays and Sundays as well. So we pretty much get up at the same time and just, get ready. I used to have a cup of coffee, but I would have never had that discipline. I was going out to the club on a Friday and Saturday night. There would have been no open mats, no training. I would have, you can't do that. So I feel like I would have quit. I would have quit, or I wouldn't have had the dedication. I would have been like, wow, I keep on getting smashed. Why aren't I getting better? And I probably would have quit like I did with every other sport I played as a kid. Mm-hmm. So I feel like I found it when I was supposed to find it.
A little bit of discipline is critical.
Yeah, I do believe that, everything happens for a reason. And I feel like I found it. It almost, I knew what it was. I'm a big fan of MMA and boxing. And my wife's family, a friend of theirs, was opening a gym. And at a New Year's Eve block party, they were like, you guys have to talk. UFC guys. Oh, they called him a UFC guy. They didn't realize, he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. They put us together and we were like best of friends immediately. I traded marketing for classes. Instead of paying, I built his website and did some of his marketing. And, I started training doing the kids class as a white belt. So I was just like instantly, again, it found me when I needed it. And when I was, I was doing a little bit of like some Muay Thai classes, and always a little nervous to go to the Jiu-Jitsu class at really like what was like a bigger, like it was called Strike Fit. So it was like boxing ring in the middle, kind of like cardio kickboxing classes. And then every other night there was like a jiu-jitsu class, and I'd be doing the Muay Thai, but I'm like, I don't know if I could roll with. I didn't even understand what it was. I mean, I knew the ground stuff, but I didn't understand like the class. I'm like, Guy, what is this? Yeah. And then when he opened his gym, I left that gym, and then I just went exclusively to his.
They taught us that in the military. I went to a school in Missouri called a Sapper School, right? Like Combat Engineer School. And they were teaching us Combatives Level 1, which is like the Gracie Combative Jiu-Jitsu system. And I was just like, I came out of that and like nobody ever like choked me or anything. I remember getting key locked all the time. They taught key locks, they taught like rear naked chokes, and that was pretty much about it. And then just positional, like get on top and just smash them, like just punch them to death. And I was like, oh, this stuff's pretty cool, but like I'm unchokeable. Like nobody was able to choke me. Because it was,
you were a wrestler though too, so I got to assume that your wrestling helped you a little bit.
It did, but what I'm saying is like I didn't. My first introduction to it was like this really watered down system, like blind leading the blind. Like these instructors probably were like level 2, level 3, and they were like teaching us, and we were just like in the fog of like this course. Yeah. And so like I came out of it like, oh, jiu-jitsu's cool, but like I'm unchokeable, so like whatever. Yeah. And then when I was visiting, when I was on leave at home and I was in Toledo, Ohio, Sanji Rivera and what's his name? The American guy that trained with him. L has an L. I can't believe I'm blanking on his name. He's super famous. He just retired at ADCC.
Yeah, he's got
his wife is pregnant. No, he's not. No, he's the first American.
Go ahead.
First American. Yeah, Lovato.
Yeah.
How did you know that?
Because I'm smart.
Holy smokes. And he doesn't train, by the way. So Lovato was there too. And my ex-wife knew them because of the bouncers at the club, and they trained the bouncers. So like my second interaction with jiu-jitsu was actually with Zanji and Zalo Rivera in Toledo, Ohio, when the Seven Blades were there. Yeah. And dude, I was like, oh, I'm unchokable. I told that to those guys.
And you got
did I pay the price?
Marco, what was your first class like? You go to your first jiu-jitsu class. What'd you think?
I think I just felt a little bit overwhelmed, right? So, and because seeing people rolling live, I was like, whoa, I'm not sure, man. This is pretty fucking crazy, you know, because I didn't wrestle before. I didn't really have any grappling skills before. So I just thought it was a little bit daunting, but I liked it. So, and you know, they eased me into the rolling, right? Yeah. So it wasn't like until a few classes that I actually started going somewhat live, right? And that's generally how we approach it as well. But I mean, it was a little bit daunting, but exciting at the same time. So, and I think to your point is, I think as you're older, you're also more appreciative of things like jiu-jitsu, right? You're more accepting of it, and you've kind of like reached a point in your life where you're like, I need it, and I accept it, and I appreciate what this is. It's not that the younger guys don't necessarily appreciate it, but I don't think that they have the life experiences yet to truly appreciate the way that we probably do.
Yeah. I mean, it's an absolute. I mean, it's like people say it's therapy. I need that release. You know, a few times a week. I'm a different person when I don't train. If I'm hurt, if I'm sidelined, it's like I'm like, oh wow, yeah, I definitely need to get it. You know, I got to get in there if I'm out for any period of time. But how
about on that same note? I mean, there's also another side of that coin where like we've had the pleasure of interviewing, you know, young guys like Nick, Danny, Gannon recently, and all these guys that are young, they're in their early 20s, and even look at guys like Gordon Ryan, early 20s, like how well put together, like the young people that I get to interact with at the gym that I go to and the gym that you go to and the people that we've interviewed, like how well put together are these younger folks who have been in jiu-jitsu since they were like 5-6 years old. Yeah. Like it's like the older people do get to appreciate it. I started, you know, later as well. I started at what, 36, I think. And or 35. And like I've gotten a chance to talk to some of these younger folk that I've known only for like 4 or 5 years.
Graduating the kids class now, choking me out.
It's not even that. It's just like their mentality. Like I just think like the thing that you're saying about jiu-jitsu, about like how it like makes you focus and it improves your regular life too. It's like, bro, these kids.
I like what he said though about needing, like I need it more now than I didn't have the pressures when I was a single guy in my 20s and even my early 30s. Yeah. I didn't get married till I was in my 40s as well. Mm-hmm. So, you know, first marriage, you know, I was just like, you know, what pressure did I have? I had to cover my bills. I had to, you know, my rent, and
it wasn't much.
Like life, you know, again, I was living for going out on Friday or Saturday night. You know, I was like living for, everybody's working for the weekend.
Yeah, right? I was thinking of the same
that was
song.
Me. So so it was it was different. I found it when I needed it, and I'm, you know, here we are. I'm 9 years in. 9 years later.
You guys are both 9 years in.
Yeah, I right? You're about 9 years now, right?
Yeah, 9 years now.
What belt are you, Marco?
I'm a brown belt.
Oh, both brown belts. How many stripes though? You guys do stripes?
One kind of stripe. Yeah. I don't know. Like,
my school just started doing stripes again. That's why he's bringing it up.
Yeah, it's like one of those things. Is like, I'm like looking at the stripes. I don't. Like, I think maybe at a white belt that might really matter because, like,
it keeps you
just
going.
A brand new white belt and like a 4-stripe white belt. Okay, there's a huge difference.
Yeah.
But I think as you advance along the path, I think they're especially how schools are very different how they hand them. I think it's very blended, and I don't know. So, I kind of missed the belt ceremony and stuff, and but I don't care so much about it. My stripes do tend to come off in the wash.
Belt washer. Thank you.
We know where this is going.
Yeah.
Actually, I think we were talking. Didn't you send a clip earlier? I would love to hear your opinion on this.
Sure.
It was the mixtapes that are on Instagram with the showy roll ones where they're like people call in. They were saying, this one guy was saying, is like, hey, I don't know what it is about all these people who are saying like, oh, I'm a no-gi blue belt or I'm a no-gi brown belt. Like you have to be. Do you feel like there's a difference between like, if you're a no-gi brown belt, are you also a gi brown belt? Or do you think there should be a difference? In your personal opinion?
I mean, it's interesting. I think they are very different. I think an advanced level no-gi person is going to do well in gi, but I just don't think that they could do nearly as well. And the equivalent isn't there, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know if that means that they're more of a purple belt or not, but I mean, there's just so much that they probably aren't training on a daily basis that you can do with a gi that you can't do with no-gi.
Like a 10th Planet guy.
Yeah, but you know what? I like, for instance, I also think the reverse is very true. Yeah, probably more true. When
you don't have anything to grab, a lot's out the window.
I think, look, the gi guys are pretty useless for some of this stuff, and then once you start going to all the feet, all the leg stuff, and it's a whole new game. So, but they're almost two different sports in a way.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah. I thought that guy was wrong, even though I think he said he was a black belt in the thing.
I thought you were going to talk about the belt washing.
No.
I thought you were going the belt washing route.
No. I was going for that guy because I was like, again, not to name drop, but like Joe Rogan has a ceremony where he got his black belt from Jean-Jacques Machado in the gi. And then he also has a very separate ceremony for when Eddie Bravo gave him his black belt. Yeah. And that was like my first real like.
Would you do that? Would you go to another school, start? Well, let's say go to a 10th Planet school. If I was as a white belt. If you. Well, let's ask the guest first.
Okay, you can ask the guest. I'll give you my answer. Do that?
I've actually thought about that. Like, I would love to do some kung fu. Like, we have a friend that John Wei, who owns a kung fu school, and they also do jiu-jitsu. And it's like I see the benefits of some of the hand movement for hand fighting on your feet and even on your back. But would you ever say, I'm going to start over at a 10th Planet, or I would go here and I'm willing? The belt's just the belt. But I mean, I think 10th Planet is probably the difference. Like that, there's a whole system that you have to learn. Would you ever start over, basically?
Potentially, but I think that right now, I've been training no-gi as well, and for me to go in, it's also, not fair to competitors if I'm going in as a white belt, but I'm truly not a white belt in the sport. Yeah. So it's different. I think I would have a much steeper. I would have to learn quite a lot in order to come up to speed, and I was trying to do some of that 10-piece stuff on my own until my knees told me you're an idiot. Stop it.
Yeah. I'm wearing a brace today. We had an open mat last night, and me and one of the guys that came from the kids' classes that's now 19, 19 years old.
I don't think he's that old.
And we were trading. So we were playing footsies, and we both had the exact same toe hold on. And somehow I heard my ankle pop, but the ankle's okay. But I heard two pops: my ankle and my knee.
Thank you to Feito IT and AV, specializing in commercial and residential automation, security cameras, CCTV, POS, and more. Check them out at feitoitav.com or call 305-428-2515 and let them know the dummy sent you. Thank you to Neutral Zone CBD, a combat family-owned company that supports athletes and the people who love them. Neutral Zone strives to deliver clean CBD products for sports recovery in gummies, lotions, balms, roll-ons, and more. After a competition, a hard rolling session, or a tough day on the job, Neutral Zone has a product designed to help you reduce inflammation, increase cell rejuvenation, and may even help with aging joints. Visit NeutralZoneCBD.com and get 25% off your order with code JJD. And follow them on Instagram too, at MyNeutralZone. Jiu-Jitsu's favorite monthly subscription box has now joined the Jiu-Jitsu Dummies podcast. The BJJ box is delivered to your door filled with premium jiu-jitsu and grappling apparel, equipment, supplements, supplies, snacks, and more. The crew at the BJJ box find the best in the world of jiu-jitsu and guarantee every box to be worth more than the cost. Each box includes 4 to 7 items you're going to love. Visit thebjjbox.com and use code JJD10 to get $10 off your very first box. And give them a follow on Instagram at TheBJJBox. Neutral Zone is Combat family owned, so they know you need to keep yourself and your equipment clean. They created Neutral Zone Clean wipes and sprays for just that purpose. Neutral Zone products are formulated to reduce the risk of bacterial and fungal infections. Whatever's making you sweat, weight training, rolling on the mats, yard work, or just working around the house, Neutral Zone Clean wipes and sprays can make you feel and smell refreshed. Use code JJD to get 15% off your online order at neutralzoneclean.com. While you're there, sign up for their newsletter to receive the latest info and updates on product launches like their new shower gel and soap bar coming soon. Are you Neutral Zone Clean? Special thank you to the crew over at Flow and Roll for all their support. Flow and Roll is renowned for their incredible no-gi rash guards, shorts, and leggings. Flow and Roll has quickly become the premier custom apparel provider for academies big and small throughout the United States. Reach out today to discuss your custom order and ask about their incredible pre-order program. You can send an email to flowandroll@gmail.com or visit their Instagram at flow_n_roll and shoot them a direct message. And yes, they can create an awesome custom gi for your academy as well. Visit flowandroll.com to check out their awesome designs, and while you're there, pick up a Jiu-Jitsu Dummy signature tee exclusively at flowandroll.com. And remember, you'll get 20% off your purchase of t-shirts, rash guards, or gis with code JJD.
I've had the other knee pop. It's definitely not as bad. I think it's probably
the most jiu-jitsu thing ever said.
Yeah.
And then you have this conversation with like anybody at work. They're like, "What, you psycho? What are you talking about?" But you talk to a jiu-jitsu person, and they're like, "Oh, my knee popped," and they're like, "You good though?" Like, yeah. Oh, okay.
I definitely should have taken my own advice. It's like tap early, tap often. He's a younger kid. I think he doesn't understand, like, okay, you don't have to wait for me. You don't have to try to rip my leg off. I'm doing it, what I would call gently compared to his. And so I'm waiting for him to tap. He grabs my foot. He does the same thing, but then just goes a little too hard.
You got to know.
You're torquing it up gradually, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to maybe just that acceleration, boom.
Yeah,
from zero to 100.
Yeah, I don't blame him at all. He's a tough role. I knew it. Again, I could have easily just been, tap. Let's move on. I was like, oh, this I got it for. I'm gonna, and then
it's good. It's good till it's not.
Yeah. So hopefully this is just a little a pain. I hope it's not torn. I really do. I don't want to be out again for so long.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's funny because that's my biggest fear of getting injured is that I'm sidelined again.
Yep.
Yeah.
And just I know it's somewhat morbid, maybe not, I don't know, but I just kind of look at the rest of my life in terms of how many years I have left on this earth, and then how many years I'll be doing jiu-jitsu, and so 6 months out is a larger percentage of that remaining time than someone who's 20 years old.
Yeah.
And so I keep thinking about that. So like I'm really just trying to I'm fixated on maybe
you're milking. You're
I'm
milking.
in the same place. It makes sense to me. It absolutely makes sense to me.
I do the same.
It's funny because I told him a little bit of the story, and the kid, this young man's amazing. He's got triangles from every angle, like it's triangle chokes. You got the shirt on. He can throw up triangles from anywhere. So I usually kind of sit back, and I've been like, okay, I can grab his legs. I feel like I can work a little bit better from the outside. You get in his guard, and you're done. I don't care who you are. He's submitting black belts. He's a purple belt, then 19, I think it's 18, 19, and he'll get you from any angle.
He's been training for 12 years.
And I told him, like, he's a quiet kid, and he's most of the time is waiting for somebody to ask him to, like, when we're okay, instructions done, we've drilled, or open mats, he'll like just sit and wait. And I kind of do the same thing because I'm a heavier guy. People don't always want to go with the heavy guy, so I usually wait to see who comes to me. But I've been I got 3 stripes recently because we didn't do stripes, and now they've kind of awarded us. They caught everybody up, and I'm like, oh shit, this is real now. Brown belt, 3 stripes, like it's really close to black belt. I'm like, I'm not gonna play this game anymore. I'm like, I grab, come on, let's go. I'm available, guys. Who's ready to roll? And I've been going to the guys that people usually avoid. I was one of them, but now I'm going to the other guys that they avoid. And then he grabs a toe hold, and as I'm like, you should have stayed away. But I'll keep on doing that, and I know I've got to tap early, but yeah, I mean, it's gonna happen. But I do feel the same way. Like, oh man, there's more time off the mat. Man, I'm so like. I mean, I know it's not a goal, but come on, who doesn't want to get to the black belt? Everybody's got that little piece inside of them that says like, it's nice. That's like that's signifies in most cases at very least 10 years of dedication to something. I've never dedicated my life to anything,
black belt digital marketing.
Like, yeah, I've never been this outside of my family. I've never been into something like this ever. I've never accomplished.
It's a pretty
like
serious hobby.
Yeah, right,
yeah, it's a serious hobby.
I'll work out a lot. I'll definitely lift weight. If this is going to sideline me, I'm definitely going to go to the classes, watch instruction, drill if I can, see what I can do, but lift weights. I'm not going to just turn into a blob.
I would just
and I think to be fair, I think it's more of an addiction than a hobby, and it's a good addiction, but it's definitely something that you need, and you feel if you don't do it for a week.
Yeah,
I mean, you're really feeling it. You're mentally, you're maybe not there. Emotionally, if that happens to me, my wife tells me, I think you need to go train or something. It's like, I'm just like miserable.
I get that once in a while. My wife, she's like, "Are you gonna go to the gym today?"
I'm almost there now. Like my work with the storm that was coming. We work a lot outside, so I had a lot of like job sites and stuff to like make sure they were cleaned up, and rental stuff that had to get picked up, and so it's like last time I rolled was Monday, and it's Thursday, and
fiending.
Yeah, it's not even a fiending. It's just like I'm just like, come on, man, like.
Yeah. Marco, let's talk a little bit about it's always interesting. We talk about it again that a lot of times you're on the mats and like we don't always get to know like what you do at, like we know each other on the mats and sometimes we don't necessarily like know what people do outside of it, but we always use like an accountant as an example. Like you don't know the guy next to you is an accountant. There's a lawyer over here. This guy's in the FBI. You don't even know it.
Yeah.
This guy's in law enforcement. Tell us a little bit about where you came from, and I know,
sure.
Like right into recently, I also like to hear a little bit about, kind of the dancing side, how all this happened, and I believe it kind of relates to your career. So I'll let you take it.
At.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, I used to be an accountant.
That's where I was going.
CPA.
So I actually graduated from University of Florida with a master's in accountancy.
Go Gators.
And I ended up with that because I thought I was going to be a doctor. So I went pre-med originally, and that lasted one semester because I took chemistry and I hated chemistry, and chemistry hated me more. And I ended up having to drop the class. That was it for pre-med. And I was just stumbling around, figuring out what I could do. And I took an accounting class and I understood it. So I went and did it for the next, 30 some years. It actually, I turned that into like, I worked for Ernst & Young, was an external auditor. Then I became an internal auditor. I moved to, I was down in South Florida, moved up to New York with Pfizer. And I was working for Pfizer for about 23 years until around 2 years ago. I was finally not a survivor of one of their reorganizations. So I got laid off.
This is part of COVID? Is this because of COVID?
Well, remember, Pfizer, they're the ones who came up with the vaccine. They were doing well.
Yeah,
They were doing well. But they were always just looking at how to cut costs. There's in my group, there's a new lead in Pfizer who came in, and there was a lot of restructuring going on. A lot of the people who supported me in the past had retired already or left the company. So I kind of was the odd man out. Ended up being the best thing that ever happened to me, by far the best thing. And I tell that all the time. My wife knows that. I count even the day I got married, the day I had kids, the best thing that ever happened to me. It really focused and forced me to relook at what I had been doing for my life in terms of the career I had, which turns out I actually didn't like. So I had been doing something that I didn't really like to an extent. One end was I didn't really like, the other end was I actually hated. So there's the last few years I actually hated it. And when you're doing something on a daily basis, or at least 5 days a week plus, and that you're hating, you don't realize how much that just eats at your soul. So it was this kind of aha moment that I had, and I re-looked at my whole life, looked at what I have left of my life, hopefully, and it was a change. So I really went to doing that, and luckily I was at a point financially that I could somewhat retire, meaning that I don't have to do that kind of job anymore that I was doing. I could go do what I want to do. And so since then, I've been teaching some jiu-jitsu. I've been doing the social media stuff. That evolved just because I got on TikTok one day and I put one video up and it kind of went viral. And then next thing you know, I started going a little bit more viral because people said, hey, you look like Master Roshi from Dragon Ball. I didn't know what the hell that was, but I do look somewhat like Master Roshi. So then I started cosplaying him and dancing, this and that. And I grew kind of big on TikTok. And then this past year, since January, I've been focusing more on Instagram, and I've been building that up. And that's a little bit of a different persona. That's mainly just dancing, but also I'm very focused on positivity and just like really trying to embrace change like I have. So that's kind of where I've been. The past year and a half since I got laid off has been the happiest part of my life ever. And so I'm just kind of on this roller coaster, and just I don't know where it's going, and I'm having tons of fun with it.
That's really cool. I also like your recent Instagram stories where you'll like dance to a song, but you're like giving facts about it too. Like, oh, this was actually sampled here and originally made from here. Like, that's pretty cool too.
You did. I saw the last one that I saw was you were talking about what's
Lovato.
No. You did one with was it an anniversary or somebody's birthday? Somebody famous.
Pauly Shore?
Yeah, Pauly Shore. And then the music that you were playing, it was how you tied that
Bruno
together.
Mars. Bruno Mars?
Bruno Mars. That right? Pauly Shore had interviewed Bruno Mars when he was a little kid. Or something like that, right?
Yeah, when he was like 5 or 6.
I don't think not many people would have gone that deep and made that connection.
Pauly Shore, people don't know how embedded Pauly Shore is. You know, son of Mitzi Shore, grew up in the Comedy Store in L.A., literally babysat by like absolute psychos doing cocaine around him as a kid.
He makes sense as a person.
And then like to me growing up, like Pauly Shore was like at that perfect age gap. So it's like, you know, In the Army Now, Biodome, Encino
MTV,
Man, Sleaze in the Juice, bro. Like he was like,
he contacted me on Instagram and he messaged me. He said, "Oh, we like you," and I was like, "Who's this royal we?" And then I was like, "Oh, man, Pauly, man, I used to like you back in the day. I was a huge fan." And he's like, "What about now, bro?" And then I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, man. I just haven't been keeping up with you." And he sends me a broken heart emoji. And so then I looked up where he was going to be in concert and for stand up. And I said, "Look, I see you're going to be in New York City. I'll go in there and I'll see you." He goes, "Sure." The day came that he was in concert, and I messaged him. I said, "I'm going to go see you tonight." And he was like, "Oh, okay, cool. Do you need tickets?" And so that's how I ended up going. And I didn't know a whole background like you were just talking about, but his stand-up was basically an autobiography of his life with humor interspersed within. Mm-hmm. And it was stranger than fiction, right? Yeah. So like you were saying, like he grew up like with he wasn't even trying to name drop. He was just throwing all of these like famous comedic names, and I was like, holy shit! He could have said anyone, I would have believed him at that point, because he had the wildest childhood and then growing up.
Yeah, I mean, he was like sitting on like Richard Pryor's lap in the backstage while like, somebody else was doing stand-up, and then like Chris Farley would watch him, and then like just absolute bonkers stuff, man. Yeah.
We're gonna throw in Marco. We're gonna throw in some questions here. I'm gonna grab some of the ones that we have. We got a lot on the last post. You want to look up maybe pick a question or two that's your favorite?
I'll look it up.
And let me see here.
Did anybody ask how dancing helps jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, I think so.
Somebody had to.
Yeah, there actually is that question. Let me go back here. We got a few here. Let's see. So what it's we got the first question is, let's see, Goldilocks64. What made you start dancing in videos online? Was there an actual, like, this is what I'm going to do? Tell us a little bit about that side of things.
That's actually an interesting. I don't know. Probably I saw there was a trend on TikTok where they're doing some kind of choreographed dance, and I wanted to try it, and then I started doing it, and I seemed like a lot of people liked it, so I continued doing it. But I absolutely love doing them now, and I tell people sometimes, I want to keep it alive, so I try to do maybe a video a day if I can. I might not be in the mood to actually go out and dance. It's just like jiu-jitsu. I might not really want to go train today, but once you start doing it, it just kicks in, and you end up in a much better place mentally and emotionally than when you started up.
Funny how that works.
How does your family feel? Like, is there like you're kind of famous. You are famous. You are famous online.
I'm like maybe an E or F list celebrity. I don't know if it goes down that road.
We're like Z list over here. Yeah. So
I don't even know.
What do they say? Do they?
My kids don't even follow me on social media.
Oh man, they're through the heart.
No, their friends do. Their friends all follow me. They'll say, "Oh, I saw your dad's," and they just don't like that. My wife is supportive, and.
You're doing it for you though. You know what I mean?
I'm doing it for me. And selfishly in a way, I'm doing it also because I'm feeling really good about the fact that it seems that people like what I'm doing and it makes them smile.
Right.
And I get a lot of messages, direct messages, or I get comments saying, every time I see your video, it makes me happy. Or I got up and danced today because I saw your video.
That's awesome.
I never had that kind of direct positive impact throughout my life, right?
Yeah.
In what I was doing, because generally as an auditor, which a lot of what I was,
I don't like you.
I'm not. Yeah, everyone just they hate you. So just having that kind of that positivity and that effect on people has been so fulfilling. It's difficult to explain.
Yeah, way better than asking for somebody's CSR report, huh?
Yeah. good reference.
Yeah. So I do have a question that I like. This one's from Leighton Flinty. He says, "Hi, bearded boomer." There's an underscore in there, I think, too. I'm just starting BJJ at 46 and need best advice. Thanks in advance.
Sure. I get that a lot because in our classes, we have some people who are just starting out. We have trial classes as well, and they come in, and a lot of them are generally a little bit older. I think the first thing is, set realistic expectations, and to that extent is think about just consistency, coming in regularly as much as you can. Maybe it's 2 times a week. That's all you can do with your schedule, but make sure you come in those 2 times a week. Consistency is key. The other thing is understand that jiu-jitsu is this massive evolving puzzle, and it's going to take a while to start figuring it out, and you'll never probably fully solve it, but you're going to start figuring it out. And so what I usually tell people is, as you start figuring it out just a little bit, find a corner piece, right? Find that piece that really works for you. For me, it was triangles, right? I don't know how it became like something that I like, but my legs just seemed to fit in the right place, and I'm limber enough where I could hit triangles from pretty much anywhere. And that is what I used as my corner piece. And then I built a game around that, right? If you just have this giant puzzle and you're taking a piece from over here, a piece from over here, a piece from over here, because that's what you're getting taught in the class, and you're never going to fully kind of feel where it's going. You get a corner piece, it's easier to build off of the corner piece. And so try to find that something that you like to do that fits well with your thing, and then you build off that.
Yeah.
And that's where it becomes more fun, because now you have this little game, and you started expanding, but at least you have that little game that
people know you for that. That's honestly, I think that's like a huge badge of honor in jiu-jitsu, where it's like, that's that guy's move and you can't stop it. If you make that one mistake, they exploit it and you get caught and you smile and you tap.
It's that do it 10,000 times or something.
Yeah, don't fear the man who practices 1,000 punches. Fear the man who practices one punch 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I sometimes I know my coach gets frustrated with me because I love like the north-south or the lockdown. He'll be like, he'll make a comment when he walks by. All right. Oh wow, you got it. Oh, again, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. And I'm just like, but
That's your
I
default.
love it.
That's
This
your
is-
default.
I know, that's the thing. You like it.
Yeah, I like it. They
Yeah.
can't stop it. And but I mean, again,
He's just trying to make you grow. That's his job.
Yeah, no, I get it too. But it's his. Like, at least the lockdown is like his thing.
Yeah.
I went in there the other day. He was just doing a lockdown class. I'm like, this is great. I love this.
Mm-hmm.
So we're like, it's funny because when we see the kids compete, the kids are like carbon copies of our coach. It's always pull guard, half guard, Z guard,
Dude, Sophia
sweep.
Today.
It's either triangle or get on the top, and then like Americanas, Kimuras.
And congratulations.
It's exactly the same. Yeah,
our professor. Well, his
my
professor,
his old professor,
my old professor, Sofia Amarante, who's the wife of Felipe. She just got double gold in Rome today, but
nice.
I watched her footage, and that same pull guard arm bar got one person with an arm bar.
That's the other one. The kids do the arm bar.
The pull guard arm. If you watch, Ray's kid.
Rocco,
if you watch a highlight video, it's like it's cool, but I mean, like that's the game. That's what you expect,
Well, that in the sports side of it, it's like if I want to, I'm good. You should be doing what's familiar to you.
Spam.
It's not time to be playing with other stuff.
No.
You play with the stuff on the mats until you get good at it, and then you bring it there.
So the advice for this guy that I just asked the question for is like, you need to watch this video now when you start, and you need to watch this same question get answered a year after you've been doing it.
Yeah.
And then watch it again 2 years after you've been. It's so funny. Like you could watch the same video that you liked as a white belt and watch it as a blue belt, and it's like a completely different video.
So Marco, your dancing itself, this wasn't like you were a trained dancer, right? This just happened because of TikTok. But how has it started to play into your jiu-jitsu? I mean, has it made you change the way you roll? Has it made you more limber? Like, how?
Yeah, no,
talk about that a little bit.
At all.
Stand up?
Not at all.
No.
The only thing, because I was trying to think of, because I figured dancing and jiu-jitsu would be coming up in our conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, I kind of realized that I was never taught. I never was trained. I learned on my own. I developed my own style with dancing. To a certain extent, I find that with jiu-jitsu as well. And I love that about jiu-jitsu. Karate was different. You had a certain series of, katas and movements, and that was it. Right. But in jiu-jitsu, it's always evolving. You can create some new things. Right. And there's, Chewy jiu-jitsu, I love the guy. And so he actually talked about like how he doesn't like ever say, this is the only way you can do it. He's open to other ways of doing a technique, unless it's something really stupid that's going to get you hurt. But it's and I really like that, because I agree. I don't think there's one specific way of doing it.
There is,
and because of that, it's very fluid. And I find that kind of relates to how I approach dancing as well, because I don't necessarily know what I'm doing. I'm just doing it. So when I have to explain to someone, I have to think about it and then analyze it that way. And that's where, when I started teaching, it forced me really to look at and be able to explain the concepts behind it to people, because that's how you can best understand it. But that's kind of the closest I could relate jiu-jitsu to dancing.
Okay.
From the outside looking in, I think it's a fair argument to also say that the carefreeness of dancing can also relate to how carefree you feel when you do jiu-jitsu. It's just fun. It's going to make you feel better even when you don't want to do it. That you're also impacting your training partners, and you teaching, you're providing something that's making people happy or making their day, or it's just a good interaction for them. Just from the outside looking in, it's like the dancing does the same thing. People go out to dance to express themselves. Everybody could do the bachata, or anybody could do salsa, merengue, rumba, cumbia, whatever.
Not everybody. I can't do it.
But what I'm saying is like, there's like a lot of memes out there. It's like, which type of cumbia dancer is your mom? Is she the one who always looks down? Is she the one who's always in the chair? Is she the one who's like super?
Marco's the guy that's always smiling. I mean, I noticed that in every one of your videos. I think like when you there's certain things that you do that you're always smiling. Dancing is one of them, right? I think once you start,
Jiu-jitsu is one of them.
You can't not. No, yeah. You're like, while you're getting choked. Yeah, this is a great triangle.
Sometimes
I think with dance, it's like you almost can't not smile. I mean, unless you're a horrible person.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, in jiu-jitsu, and you've probably done this. You're rolling with someone, and either you or that other person does something, like gets you in something, or you get them in something, and then you just end up just laughing. Like I did that today with someone because I caught him in a teepee, and he just started laughing right after. I was laughing because we both kind of knew it was coming. It was like, he kind of expected, and I did too. And then you just end up, it's where you don't get upset. You just got beat up, or you just, but you're just laughing. Oh, you got me in a wrist lock. God damn.
I have two questions.
Yeah.
What is a teepee?
Really?
And do you talk when we don't like, my coach doesn't use all these names. It's like, we learn this move. There's never like ashi, like there's not the traditional words or the 10th planet words. Like, it's just like, oh yeah, that move with the arm.
Okay.
And I mean, he's an awesome high level guy under, he's got his black belt under Cyborg. He's no slouch. They just don't use those names.
So what is a teepee?
I wasn't taught the teepee in my school. I had to find it online.
I probably know the move.
I think you know it. Yeah.
I probably know the move. I don't know that name. What is a teepee?
Yeah, so think about it. You could even do it when if you're ever going against a big guy and you're trying to close your triangle, but their just shoulders are too broad, you can actually, instead of closing your legs, like this way, you just cross them up top.
Yeah.
And then you basically extend them upwards like that to create that. And then you could even grab behind your knees. If you look at it,
I've seen it. No, I know. I know the move. Again, I never knew it was a teepee. I know the move.
Teepee triangle.
I actually, I'm a bigger guy. If I'm rolling with somebody that's bigger, I can't always lock my leg behind my knee. I usually am pulling on their head though. I can probably not always get my legs in the right position, but if I pull their head and then I squeeze and I close my knees, I'm usually going to get somebody like that.
This would be like a me versus you scenario where I can't get your shoulder to get into your carotid,
but you can do.
So what I would do if I can't get the angle because you're starting to posture up is like he said, I would teepee and I would reach behind my own legs, and then I would flex my chest up. And then extend my arms out.
I've seen it. Not a move I do. I've seen it.
That actually what it does is it forces. It does feel like a neck crank, but it forces your shoulder to go in to your carotid.
And I do it a lot when they try to do a double under. They stack, and then I almost bait them into that, and then I just do it without any shoulders, just the head. If I could get like a grip here and just have my hand there as well, boom.
See, I'll tell you like a big guy problem. I know that this is a big guy problem. I know the big guys. Like, we're not really good at coming up at the waist. Like, that crunch move, like coming up, I'm trying to bring you to me. The belly gets in the way. That's very difficult. So, like, it's like you kind of said before, like, you do moves that are, like, good for you. And, you know, hey, I do the things that I know that I can do. Sometimes I look at a move and I'm like, I'm going to drill this, but I'm probably never going to do this because my body type. But to play ball and to work with the other guys, and my coach is my coach, I'm going to give him the respect of doing this move, and I'm going to learn it. But it's probably something that I never use in an active role.
Right.
I've said that, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, shit, I got that. Oh, I did that thing that I said I'd never do. So that happens. It bites me in the ass. But, when you're talking about that, again, it's not something I would do because I have to grab, if I'm going to grab my foot to really lock in a triangle, I have to grab my toe. I grab my big toe. Everybody says don't grab your toe because you could break your own toe. Yeah. But I grab my toe to get, because I can't go all the way up and reach my whole foot.
You got to do what you got to do.
I know. Well, yeah, I got to lose about 20, 30 pounds.
But it's funny how you say that because a lot of people, like I have a couple of friends who are like on the smaller side, right? And so they kind of gravitate towards teachers who are their kind of size because it's more their game. Big guys, same thing. I follow one of the guys I follow. You guys had on him, Mike Bidwell. Spike Ninja, right?
BJJ under 40.
So his game
after 40.
After 40.
And I love his game, right? So his kind of body type is somewhat similar to mine, and so I find what he does, and I'm flexible as well. So a lot of the stuff he does, even the triangles, is one of the things that I love doing as well.
He's amazing. We've had him on twice. He's one of our returning guests. He's awesome. We love him. Yeah. He's got a great take on jiu-jitsu, and I do love. Like I think when you start to get to a certain age in jiu-jitsu, not like actually like you get to your brown belt or whatever. Like I'm looking for things that are going to help me do the things that I like better. Right? I can't say that I'm like
skill level
super. I consider myself a hobbyist. I'm not getting out there at events anymore. Did compete very little competing at white and blue. I'm just not going to do some of those things. So I love like Mike's videos. I like Brendan McCatherine. I like Jason Scully. They all teach you like a bunch of moves, but like it's like quick. Like Brendan McCatherine is like a 1-minute jiu-jitsu hack. It's like, that's what I need. Like, look, this is probably something you're not doing with your triangles or your mounted triangles. Like he's got an incredible mounted triangle. And I'm like, you see, if I didn't know that I could lean out and then, like there are those little things that's what I'm looking for when I'm looking at videos.
You're looking to refine the skills that you already have
instead
of learning something
again,
new.
I'm always open to learn something new, don't get me wrong, but that's where I am. Like I love watching those like consumable bits, like under a minute, show me something. Okay, cool. I can take that and I can use it. Continue to scroll, the
jiu-jitsu journey,
span is so short.
The jiu-jitsu journey is different for everybody. Yeah. I don't know.
So my second question was, you talked about laughing. Do you talk during a roll? Are you a talker, or do you just keep you're quiet until
Oh my God, that's hilarious, because I don't talk, but I know some people who do, and they're almost doing a play-by-play, right? They're almost like doing a play-by-play. I have another friend, he giggles through, and it freaks me out, because I think why is he giggling? Is he going to be doing something that I don't realize?
Is it a tell?
Yeah,
guilty.
Yeah. But you gotta love the people who
it's psyops.
start talking, start instructing once they're in a bad position.
I don't do that. No, that's a no. That's a big no. I play psychological games is what I'm doing. When I talk, I'm like, I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing.
For me, it's more like that, but it's also to have fun with it. I feel like I'm a jokester. I'm always making jokes and trying to have fun, and that's more of why. But it's funny for me, and it's more entertaining if I am talking. And then every once in a while, I give them like, "Oh, you sure you want to do that? You might not want to do that." Like give them some of that.
I'm not at that level.
Yeah.
Where I
but
could say that.
It's just more fun for me. I know some people are like, they get really upset when you talk. They'll go harder if you're talking to them. And I know those guys, and I just won't talk when I'm rolling with them.
Yeah.
But
unless you could beat them.
Yeah, the guy, it's usually like a lower belt. You can be like, you can talk to him like, But I've never done the like stop. I had to stop somebody last night. I was in a bad position. The only reason my contact always comes out. One of my like if I get my eyes rubbed really hard. I don't know if you can see. I actually have a.
You do? Oh, I do see it. Yeah.
Last night I got a gi across the eyeball with the blue belt. What's his name? Ricardo.
Hurtado.
Sorry.
Boy.
He gave me a nice rash burn across my eye, and I was like this, and he was taking my back. I'm like this, and I'm like, "Can we stop for a second?" He's like, "Oh," like he thought I was hurt, and I'm like, "No, look," and the contact was sitting out. I took it, I threw it on the mat, and I'm like, "Okay, go ahead." I have to do that a lot. That happens a lot.
Yeah.
It happens a lot with Tom because he pressure.
Yeah.
So that's the only time I won't stop somebody if they're or guide them into the submission so that you're subconsciously making them feel like I gave it to you. I don't do that shit. I think that's bullshit.
Yeah.
I actually stopped wearing contacts because of that.
Yeah.
And because they just kept falling out or like getting rubbed off, and I was like, ugh.
I might have to. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it's very liberating, actually, to be honest. Like, I can't see much because I really have bad vision, but
how much do you use your eyes anyways while you're rolling? Really?
Well, and you're close enough.
Yeah,
well, we actually had a blind student.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't stay for that long, but he was blind.
Didn't see
blind.
that coming.
Yeah, and he he's here until Thursday, folks.
Try the meatloaf. I'll be here all night.
So I mean, it was then I was like, if he's able to do this without seeing it all, then I should be able to do it just seeing blurry stuff.
So my thing is, I gotta get like I don't have regular glass. I shouldn't say I have a pair of glasses. I keep them at home. Every once in a while, I take out I wear my contacts day and night. Every once in a while, I take them out. I put those on for like just when I go to sleep. So put them on, take them off when I go to sleep. But I always wear my contacts. So it's like I don't even think about it. It's like I went to class. I'm rolling with everybody, and then it's oh man.
You know what you need?
I still had one, so I was able to drive home. But my wife asked me. She says, "What?" She's like, "Why are you wearing them to class?" I'm like, "I got to get there and back."
Ooh, that's a good point.
I might have to
That's a good
start to
point.
graduate to maybe taking them
Yeah, you
out
need-
and wearing glasses on the way. But my actual excuse to her was, besides the driving there and back, as I said, I don't. The instruction's going to be so blurry, and I'm a detail guy. Like I like where I need to see exactly where your foot is and how is your hand. Or are you holding here? Are you doing the monkey grip? Do you have it here for some reason?
Volunteer to be Uki.
I need to. Yeah, that's even worse because then you're feeling it but not seeing it.
I put my glasses on, and then when they're doing the instruction, then when we're ready to drill, then I'll just.
A
put
lot
them
of
on.
dudes in my gym do that.
I do have a friend that just started working at a LASIK place.
Yeah.
And
I don't think that's how they.
You need a
that makes you not want to get it. What do you do? LASIK. I'm good.
No, there's a place in Hialeah. You can go
I'm
to
good,
that
bro.
has that. They do it.
You need a prescription scuba mask.
That would be funny. That would be
Right?
funny. Be like,
Prescription
Yeah.
scuba
I don't have
mask.
I forgot my glasses, guys, and come out with the scuba mask.
Steve.
But so I had another. So we talk. What about music? Are you you're a dancer? I know you've got to love music. I've heard you talk about
And he's
saving music into your online. Are you a music guy? Do you have to is the music always on when you're training?
Yeah, definitely, always on.
teaching.
And I love playing a lot of old school funk, old school hip hop.
Ah, nice.
Like George
That's
Carlin.
generally what I have, and I find a lot of stuff on Mixcloud, great mixes. So I spend time searching Mixcloud for so I have a good set of playlists
Mhm.
and then I whip that out, and I love that vibe. I love that funky vibe. So
Yep, nice.
I play a lot of that when I'm training.
I totally dig funk. 'Cause, yeah.
When I'm rolling, I just want noise. I like anything. I like so many different styles of music. They can play anything. The new coach plays like
Sounds
Brazilian
from Guantanamo
music.
Bay.
Like funky, like Brazilian funky, or
I don't even. I couldn't even tell you genres. It's just like
Brazilian funk is awesome.
Brazilian funk and Brazilian lounge for rolling would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I
So the
like,
Brazilian funk from like City of God, you remember that movie? That was awesome. That was from
Yeah,
the
that's
70s.
true.
Not me, that's a
Cidade de
boom.
Deus.
I wasn't there for that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you were still crawling around in the womb.
In the 70s? Nah, I was hanging out with my dad.
Oh, were you?
He was carrying me around. Yeah, still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How old were you? Like 2 or
I was
3?
in there. I was with my dad.
How old were you?
I was in his sack, bro. I was on reserve. I was still on the shelf.
Marco, I don't know if you know this young lady, El Baena. You commented. You gave her a laugh emoji. I don't know when.
Oh,
when
no,
we
I
posted.
think I saw that.
I don't know if you knew her.
No.
Okay, but what she asked was, she's as a boomer. You'll explain that in a second. As a boomer, do you find it difficult to stay cool?
Oh man, that's a shit question.
So one, I'm not actually technically a boomer. The reason I adopted the name Bearded Boomer was because when I got on TikTok, this was 3 years ago, and all those kids were calling anyone who was older than them boomer.
Right, yeah.
And I was like, I can't
Actually-
fight this. This is a losing battle. So then I adopted in my name, and I actually started calling myself Master Roshi Boomer, and then I switched it to Bearded Boomer, and it sounds a lot better than Bearded Gen Xer because Bearded Boomer, I like
Yeah.
alliteration.
Yeah, we're
So
Alliteration's it.
yeah, so I stuck with it, and but I keep trying to explain to everyone, even on my bio on Instagram, I said almost a boomer because I'm trying, but I get a lot of
How old are
questions
you?
about that, and I do look older than I actually am. I'm 53, almost 54, 54 in 2 months.
Oh shit, I'm 55. Yeah, I'm 55.
Yeah, and I look older than that, but I do feel like I'm probably going to look this way even when I'm 70. So then I'll look younger, hopefully.
You got really
Hispanic,
smooth
Latin
skin.
genes,
Yeah.
man. Those Latin genes. My parents are in their 70s. They definitely look easily like 10 years younger than they
Yeah.
actually are.
I think you look good.
Yeah, I look like I'm 90.
Thank you.
I have a Romanian gene, so
Yeah.
So, okay, we're going to get into any other questions?
Nah.
We're going to get into the drill down. This is a segment where we have some of the most commonly asked questions. We put them in to the drill down at the end of the show. So
You want
we'll
the drill down.
we have the sound effects guy over there.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that's professional.
You still haven't put my logo in, have you?
Yeah, I have.
Did you? I didn't
Yeah,
notice
you
it. Oh, I got to
last
check
3
it.
episodes,
I got to
yeah.
look. I got to look at it. So
I don't watch him. So did you do it?
No, I got to watch every episode. I review it before we launch. So, okay, Marco, preference, gi or no gi?
Gi.
Okay.
Just answer.
No, elaborate. Please elaborate. No, we got, unless you got to go somewhere.
No, I don't. The reason for gi, and I just do this. The reason for gi is because I feel I can slow my opponents down, right? And so if I'm going against the.
Yeah, you've said that before.
I mean, these guys have the younger guys a lot of energy. They're jumping around and no gi. I'm like and then I'm worried about in the scramble. I'm worried about getting injured as well, like an errant knee or here or there.
It's like I'm talking to myself.
Jiu-jitsu preservation.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're trying to.
I don't think people that
you're milking this cow. You know what I mean?
I have to, man.
If you want to last, you got to learn how to, again, work out, stretch, recovery, cold plunge, cold showers, excuse me. All those things that go, get a massage gun, get the so right, get all that stuff, because you're not going to last. These kids that just think that, when you're little, I know you bounce back, but once you start getting into your teens and your 20s, not only is it going to help you jiu-jitsu, but it's going to give you that longevity that we all say we want. Mm-hmm. And you don't want to be, I used to train jiu-jitsu, or I was a brown belt in jiu-jitsu, and you now, 20 years later, you can't do it because you hurt yourself.
Dude, I eat ground beef and honey every single day and fruit just so I could be better at jiu-jitsu. This sport will change you.
I have an issue with that. I don't think that's the. you may be losing weight, and it's so bad for you.
I feel so healthy.
Underwear?
Yeah, I did too before I had a heart attack.
We'll see,
all right,
bro.
Next question. Takedown or pull guard?
I pull guard. And the reason I pull guard is because in competition, I don't have a background in wrestling. I don't have a background in judo. So I anticipate that most likely the person in front of me has one of those two, and I'm not going to risk it. Again, my game is on the ground, on my back. So that's how I play anyway. Mm-hmm. And
let's get to the point.
I might as well start there. So I will pull guard. I have no reservations with pulling guard. I don't care what people call me, a pussy or whatever. I don't care because I love just starting from the ground there.
I don't think pulling guard has the same negative connotations that it used to have. I mean, so there's the memes and people still joke, but then everybody's doing. Yeah, I mean, it's just like.
What was it? Sosa versus Gordon Ryan, the fastest submission. He literally just walked up to him, sat down, and put him in a heel hook.
Yeah.
And he was done.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean,
the other thing is I have nightmares of heel hooks. I'm just that's something that just will put me on the sideline for
just tap.
What's your take on in your school, or what your personal take, or what does your school do? I know traditionally in the schools that I've been in, it was just like no leg, maybe like the straight ankle lock and maybe toe holds, but beyond that, it was like brown and above before anybody even started talking to you about the leg stuff. What's your approach, and how do you guys teach?
Right. So we most of our classes are gi. But in the no-gi classes that we have covered heel hooks before, because it's also important to understand the concepts of the heel hook. So if someone,
are you talking to white belts about that stuff though too? Are they part of that class, or is it like, okay, you guys don't touch this?
Yeah, that's a good point. Our classes are kind of mixed sometimes, and so there probably was a couple of white belts in there, probably like what, but it's good for them to understand at least the heel hook, the concept of the heel hook, and also how to escape or what not to do, and don't turn the wrong way. And
don't turn.
So I think just from a safety perspective, you have to understand it and you have to learn it.
It's the gun safety of jiu-jitsu for sure. Like education is key.
Yeah. All right, we talked about music. That was that's usually one of our questions, but so we'll skip to are you somebody that watches jiu-jitsu? Are you an MMA fan? Are you online watching tape and watching the WNOs and Fight to Wins? Is that you?
I watch the UFCs religiously. I love those. I don't have a subscription to Flow Grappling. I don't really watch any of the stuff that they put on. But my Instagram algorithm is pretty much 90% jiu-jitsu and then 10% dance.
Yeah.
And so I'm just constantly looking at stuff on there, and I see stuff, and I have this whole save list that most people probably do. Oh, I'll save this. I probably haven't looked at most of them again, but man, I just like this so much. I'm going to save it because I'm going to use that or something like that.
Yeah.
Rarely will I ever, but that's kind of how I.
It's like that 1x1 piece of cedar that you have in your garage. That you're gonna
turn into something.
It's gonna be something.
It's gonna be about.
I could use this for something.
Yeah.
This is a good piece of wood right here.
I'm not gonna throw this away. It's actually appreciated in time.
Make a little tiki
this is an
out of it.
appreciating asset, babe. You don't understand what's going on right here.
I save everything. My wife's like, "Why are you saving that?" And then like a year later, I'll be like, "Remember that thing that you took?" Like this is a smaller thing. It's something different than just like a piece of wood or that piece of wire.
Yeah.
But when we moved into our new house, we took all the shower heads off, and we replaced them. We got new ones, and she's like, "Just throw them away." I'm like, "No, save them. You never know. Save them." One of them broke. One of them started leaking, and we're like, "We got to get to Home Depot. We got to get to Home Depot." Daughter's coming home from school. We stole hers, put it on ours.
Teflon tape.
And I went out to the garage for something else. I opened a drawer, and I'm like, boom, the two shower heads. And I was like, we don't got to buy anything. Here you go. Because it's for we changed it to my daughter's shower. She's not home. She's at school. So who cares? She doesn't need a special shower head.
Nope.
Boom, boom, boom.
Take that.
And never throw anything away. I said, see, that's why I don't throw anything away.
That's exactly.
Yeah, but wires and pieces
That's
of
what
wood.
basements are for.
I've got the little plastic Tupperwares.
Well, yeah,
I have
you
a
need
nice
those,
little
'cause that's
one of
MacGyver
those
shit.
drawers, those tool drawers.
That's MacGyver shit.
Yeah,
When
I have all the little Tupperwares with all the little freaking brackets, and nothing gets thrown away. It's gonna get used at some point. I'm forever in the kitchen, put everything out on the counter and then search for that one little screw.
The weird draur that everybody
I do
has.
that. Yes, I have two of them.
Yeah, I got several.
All right, so you said you're a UFC fan. Do you have a favorite competitor? Do you have guys that you like to watch?
Or gals.
Or gals, yes.
Okay, to be honest, I do like pretty much anyone who is primarily a BJJ.
Like Felipe.
Bias.
I don't like it when I honestly don't like it so much when they're just all doing stand up.
Yeah.
And I really like it when they go to the ground, and that's where you see it.
Right. It's so funny because so many people like that don't know jiu-jitsu, right? They're like, stand them up, right?
I yell it.
I
yell
like
it all the time. As a joke, but I yell it.
Yeah.
Dude, big card this weekend. Big card this weekend.
Oh yeah.
Who do you got?
I don't know, man. I don't want to jinx it, but I don't know. I honestly I think that it's a toss up.
Yeah, I think it's a big toss up. I'm leaning more towards the Dagestani side of the toss up, but
for the main event, I think this is Israel Adesanya is fighting somebody who's beat him twice in the kickboxing ring.
Yeah, they're 2-1.
That's got to be like, you're like, was it 2-1? Did they fight 3 times?
I think 3 times, yeah. So Adesanya won once, and then I think Pereira won twice.
Yeah.
And Mike Pereira has been training on a hoverboard, avoiding. Yeah, so he's doing some serious work.
Yeah.
How is he training on a hoverboard?
You haven't seen the videos of him doing weird ass trainings? Like it was like he kicked a soccer ball up in the air and then did a backflip and then shot the soccer ball in the air with a bow and arrow. And then one time he was just on a hoverboard and he was sparring.
Around.
Yeah, no, but he's very talented.
Yeah.
But I believe he's up 2-1.
Yeah.
And he freaking knocked him out.
He's a scary dude. I think is this only his second fight in the UFC?
No, it's going to be his 4th fight.
This is going to be his 4th fight inside the UFC. I saw the last fight.
The first 2
and as soon as I said they announced his fight, I was just like, this will air after the fight, so congratulations. Insert name here, Bo.
Whoever won.
Congratulations.
Whoever won.
A lot of people want to see Adesanya lose, I believe. I believe there's a lot of stock.
I like the story, and he's gotten a little cocky. I think that he can use a loss.
How could you not be cocky
I'm
after
just saying,
so
but
many?
You could be cocky, but you don't have to be an asshole, and he's turning into a little bit of an asshole.
You think so?
Yeah, and a little bit boring. He's getting a little bit boring.
Yes,
I agree with that.
So I'd like to see him win, not because I don't like him. I think that it would be probably it's the whole you don't lose, you learn. I think that he'll come back better. And I mean, when you see this guy, this guy just comes walking out completely straight up, like
RoboCop.
Yes. I mean, this guy looks
a great
scary.
fighter, by the way.
This guy looks like a scary dude. And I think, somebody has beaten you twice. It's not like Adesanya you tell me if I'm wrong. I know you're super into UFC as well. I don't know like how good this isn't going to the ground is the point I'm going to make. Like it's not like Adesanya's got this amazing ground game.
He's an Atos purple belt.
He's a purple belt under
Galval.
under
His
Galval
ground game
Atos.
might be better though.
Yeah.
His ground game might be better, but is he going to try to take him down? You got to think about. You're going for now. You're talking about a Muay Thai guy. The knees,
I think,
right? You're gonna walk in. You're gonna do a takedown right into a
they're
knee.
kickboxers.
I think
They're
that's
not
gonna
Muay
be
Thai
scary.
guys. They're Dutch kickboxers.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, it's not Muay Thai.
Oh, okay.
I think Adesanya is smart enough because the reason he's boring is because he games the system to get the wins. He doesn't care. He's got the Mayweather approach. He's acting like an asshole because that's the entertainment value because his fight game is boring and his fight game is boring because he's surgical. He fought who's the guy? I love you, Jesus. What's his name again? I forget his name. Super big Cuban guy. He just went to PFL. I know Bellator. Can't believe you didn't pull it out. But anyways,
it's coming.
He fights the person and he's got a game plan and he sticks to it. So I wouldn't even put it past Adesanya to know that he's got a better ground game. And the first round I believe is going to be a feel out round. Second round is going to get. I think it might be like maybe my kickboxing is better than yours. And then third round.
Romero.
Romero. Yeah. And then third round, it could be. I
don't think this goes too far. I think maybe this is going to be first, second round knockout.
Yeah.
I don't think Adesanya makes it out of the
It's
second
hard
round.
to tell, man. I think you're right. It's a toss up too.
Yeah. It's going to be. Look, it's going to be. I'm hosting the watch party at my house because I was so into this. I haven't done it for a long time, but I'm like, I want to host this one, so let's have a party. So we'll find out. All right, let's get to our next question.
Sure.
So, what is your ultimate goal? I'm going to ask you. I'm going to usually say, what's your ultimate goal in jiu-jitsu or MMA? I'm going to ask you, what's your ultimate goal in jiu-jitsu and on social media and where kind of this is heading for you.
So I'm my ultimate goal in general is just to be happy. And I know it sounds just very generic, but I've been looking and talking about. I read online someone had talked about a threshold of happiness or for happiness, and that people with a lower threshold they're happier more often. They're more easily it's more easily attainable. So for me, I don't really have any particular goal in jiu-jitsu. I'm just having so much fun with it. I love teaching. So that's one aspect that I wasn't doing 3 years ago, and I'm doing now. And I want to continue that. I'm also teaching the kids classes as well. And that's like a very different kind of teaching. But it's like, for me, just being able to continue to partake in it, it's a fulfilling feeling. I eventually I'll most likely get my black. We continue long enough at this sport, most likely we're going to get it. So that isn't necessarily a goal of mine. I hope to that it will be part of my journey, but I just want to continue training as long as I can possibly train because I really enjoy it. That's on the jiu-jitsu side. With the social media side, my goal is still evolving, but I want, since I've been having a positive effect on a lot of the people who follow me. I want to continue doing that, and I'm just figuring out how I can best do that. And so right now I'm just really again enjoying that, and I just continue doing that, and things just start happening. Like I get invited to a podcast, or Pauly Shore invites me, or I've been asked to do some other stuff, and it just evolves.
So we didn't mention this before. We talked about social media, but you were also on the NBC show. Is it Dancing with Myself?
Yeah, and that came about through kind of my online presence as well. That was with Shakira's show, and Nick Banas, Nick
Cannon.
What's his face? Jonas.
Nick Jonas.
The Jonas Brothers.
Jonas Banas is one of my neighbors.
I don't know why I came out
just got doxxed.
Nick Jonas, and that was a great experience as well. That was a ton of fun, and I'm just really just trying to get as many different varied experiences as possible.
So there's a lot of similarities in our story, including starting jiu-jitsu late. I left my job. I've been in marketing for 15 years. 8 about 8 years on my own. I had my own business. I went to work for somebody else for 6. And right after COVID, I went out on my own. I just wasn't happy at the job anymore. Wanted to do the podcast more. We used to do it twice a month. Now we do it 4, 1 a week. And I wanted more time for that. And then I started my own marketing company up again, and been very lucky that it's taken off. The question that I have for you is, would you ever go? I say, I'll live in a box under a bridge before I ever go work for anybody again. Would you ever go back into the accounting field, or is it that's it? It's done.
Yeah,
this is my life
for the
now.
most part, I'm pretty much done with corporate. Right.
Yeah.
I realized I had to kind of wear a mask for years, decades.
Not a COVID mask either. You're talking
not
about
literally, not literally.
Yeah, we're wearing the corporate mask,
Okay.
and so I really didn't enjoy it, and I realize that now. So I don't think I would ever. I can't say 100%, but I really can't envision that. Luckily, I at this point I don't have to, and we'll see what my life, where it leads
You're
to.
creative and free spirit, man. That's
Yeah, that's I'm really tapping into that. Thanks for saying that. I really feel that now, and so I'm trying to take advantage of it. I mean, I look at the rest of my life. Let's say my dad passed away when he was like in his early 70s. So I say, okay, I'm probably gonna live until I'm like 70 years old. I'm picking that just because that's how I feel. And I don't look at that in a bad way. I'm saying, okay, I have 17, now maybe 16 years left. How am I going to use those 16 years, maximize the happiness I can in those 16 years?
Right.
Right. Because that's 16 years. Everything's a countdown. Right. But I'm trying to just enjoy every fucking day, man. So that's how I'm really approaching it. And working for the man, working for anyone like that is in a corporate environment. If that's not going to be fulfilling enough to me for that day to be happy, or for that year, for the next few years, then I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
I
Well
love
said.
it. Love that.
Normally, I toss it to Miguel to ask the last question, which is, do you wash your jiu-jitsu belt? You've already told us earlier in the show. That's like our drum roll, please.
Yeah.
But talk to the people that don't wash their belt, and tell people why they should be washing their belt.
Yeah, I commented on your post that, I mean, is there any other article of clothing that a person has where they sweat in it and they don't ever wash it?
Underwear.
I don't think
I actually,
and I was compared to those people who, in their underwear, what they do is they fucking turn it around, get another extra day, flip it inside out. Like, so you got 4 days, man.
Oh, man.
And it's not even just your sweat, right?
Right.
So it's like even
An
more disgusting.
accumulation.
I go home
crowd sweat.
when I go home, I tell my wife will be like, try to give me a kiss. I'm like, I mean, your sweat. I've got sweat all over me, including my mouth, like your lips, your beard, your hair. I'm like, honey. I'm like,
Well,
I do. Excuse me. I do clean myself.
I know.
I
Me
carry a
too.
towel and I use my neutral zone. But I still tell her, hold off.
People, I left it at the gym for people to try, and I got to get another one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have it. You can take this bottle if you want and refill it.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, take that one. I have another one at the house.
Okay, but what are we going to put here?
I got another one at the house that I'm going to bring.
Darling.
There you go.
what is that?
This is a Neutral Zone Clean. It's
Neutral
from one of
Zone
our sponsors.
Clean wipes
It's a
and
body.
liquids.
This is a body spray. This I don't know if you can see this big boy over here. Right, this is the
Like a
refill.
refill.
But I take this, I spray it on my body at the end of a session, a training session, and then I usually carry a towel. Either I've got a couple of towels. Neutral Zone gave us some towels as well. So I carry a towel in my bag, and I just wipe myself down.
Before the
including my
ride
face.
home.
We had a sponsor early on in the podcast that sent us some stuff. I think they actually went out of business.
Thought it was BJJ box and it came in it.
No. They had this bottle, and the company was doing wipes. Neutral Zone. We actually had. Can you see the big bucket here? They do this big bucket of wipes for like gyms and wrestling events. But then they had a canister, and I told them, oh, you know what was really cool? And I showed them the bottle. He's like, we're going to do that. So they also put out the spray. So basically, I said, I'm killing the yuckies. I'm leaving.
It's all natural.
Relatively clean. It's all it's all natural.
It's got like eucalyptus oil and like wasabi oil.
Non-toxic.
And,
Like it's It's a great way to end a session.
Wasabi.
I hate getting
It
into
has
my car
wasabi oil in
dirty, but I use that. And I
A
clean
lot
my.
easier because what I would do is I
Wasabi
bought
extract.
an antibacterial soap, so I'm like in the bathroom like lather.
No, yeah,
That's a lot
I do
easier.
that
That's
too.
a lot
I do
easier.
that too afterwards. I have like I drive like 17, 18 miles, so it's like a 20
before
minute
I
drive.
get in the car to go home, I'm
Exactly.
in the school
So
bathroom.
I have a towel that I put on my car seat. I really wish that Mike and Candy would come out with those washable car.
This is the bucket that they sell to gyms and wrestling events.
Yeah, those are the wipes.
This is great.
Get yours at Neutral Zone Clean.
We'll do that later.
Yeah.
But then they also have a canister. I carry the canister in my car. If I go pump gas or shaking hands and get in the car, I put it there. I also hate getting into my car like all sweaty and nasty.
Yeah, no.
But sometimes I get in with my gi pants and I'm like, well, you know what? I spray myself and I clean everything off. But
There's nothing that scares a BJJ practitioner more than staff and
Yeah.
MSRA.
It's maximizing. If you get staff, you're off the mats for a couple weeks, and it's even worse because you can't even justify it. It's not like, oh, my elbow hurts so bad that I can't do, warm ups. It's like, I just got this stupid thing that I'm going to give to somebody else, and I'm here taking antibiotics, destroying my gut, and I'm going to feel like crap, and recovering's going to suck. And
that guy that's got tape around some odd part of his leg.
Yeah.
It's like,
What's that?
Yeah. Oh, I got a little cut there. No,
It's
you
the
kind of
black goo from space. Yeah.
Well, let's Marco, thank you so much for doing this. Thank you so much for coming on. Love to have you back again one day. Definitely when you get that black belt, we got to have you back on.
Oh, yeah.
But I wanted to give you a minute to anybody you want to shout out, any sponsors, anybody you're working with. Now's your time.
I'll just shout out my school and a couple other schools. My professor Kevin Sheridan. I started with him as a white belt, and I might be the first, once I eventually get it, maybe the first black belt to ever go through the entire program. So that'll be an honor if I ever get to that point. Sheridan BJJ here in New Jersey. I have some friends over at Maximum Athletics over in South Plainfield, New Jersey, and Inverted Gear Academy over in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. I don't know if you know them, Nelson Fuentes and Hillary. They're they're the owners of Inverted Gear, the brand as well.
Yeah.
Thanks to like everybody who's been helping me. I get some stuff every now and then. Like I got this from Epic Roll.
We know Matt.
I just rolled with Matt.
We know Matt. He just saw
I
Matt
rolled
up
with
in
Matt
DC.
not too long ago.
Yeah. So,
amazing.
Man,
gym.
I'm just enjoying this whole journey and everything. And I really want to thank you guys for inviting me. I've had a really fun time. It was great talking to you guys.
Thank you. And look, very humble. He keeps on saying every time he talks about the black belt. I know a lot of people do that. Like, well, if I get it, you're so humble about it. As long as you stay relatively healthy and you can get out of the mats, it's going to come, and it's a lot of times sooner than later. But again, listen, I told you, don't hang up, don't go anywhere. We're gonna take some pictures. But again, thank you so much for doing this. We appreciate it, man.
Thank you very much.
Awesome.
All
Thanks,
right.
man.
Hold
Thank
on.
you.
All right.
Bo.
Thank you to Neutral Zone CBD, a combat family-owned company that supports athletes and the people who love them. Neutral Zone strives to deliver clean CBD products for sports recovery in gummies, lotions, balms, roll-ons, and more. After a competition, a hard rolling session, or a tough day on the job, Neutral Zone has a product designed to help you reduce inflammation, increase cell rejuvenation, and may even help with aging joints. Visit NeutralZoneCBD.com and get 25% off your order with code JJD. And follow them on Instagram too, at MyNeutralZone. Jiu-Jitsu's favorite monthly subscription box has now joined the Jiu-Jitsu Dummies podcast. The BJJ box is delivered to your door filled with premium jiu-jitsu and grappling apparel, equipment, supplements, supplies, snacks, and more. The crew at the BJJ box find the best in the world of jiu-jitsu and guarantee every box to be worth more than the cost. Each box includes 4 to 7 items you're going to love. Visit thebjjbox.com and use code JJD10 to get $10 off your very first box. And give them a follow on Instagram at TheBJJBox. Neutral Zone is combat family owned, so they know you need to keep yourself and your equipment clean. They created Neutral Zone Clean wipes and sprays for just that purpose. Neutral Zone products are formulated to reduce the risk of bacterial and fungal infections. Whatever's making you sweat, weight training, rolling on the mats, yard work, or just working around the house, Neutral Zone Clean wipes and sprays can make you feel and smell refreshed. Use code JJD to get 15% off your online order at NeutralZoneClean.com. While you're there, sign up for their newsletter to receive the latest info and updates on product launches like their new shower gel and soap bar coming soon. Are you Neutral Zone clean? Special thank you to the crew over at Flow and Roll for all their support. Flow and Roll is renowned for their incredible no-gi rash guards, shorts, and leggings. Flow and Roll has quickly become the premier custom apparel provider for academies big and small throughout the United States. Reach out today to discuss your custom order and ask about their incredible pre-order program. You can send an email to flowandroll@gmail.com or visit their Instagram at flow_n_roll and shoot them a direct message. And yes, they can create an awesome custom gi for your academy as well. Visit flowandroll.com to check out their awesome designs, and while you're there, pick up a Jiu-Jitsu Dummy signature tee exclusively at flowandroll.com. And remember, you'll get 20% off your purchase of t-shirts, rash guards, or gis with code JJD.
All right, very cool, man. What do you think?
Awesome. That guy, the only thing that I felt was kind of like almost sad was the fact that he mentioned that he was wearing that corporate mask for so long. And, you know,
you know how many people go through that?
I know a lot. I'm glad he's free now.
And I hope that's inspiration. It's like Gary Vee is inspiration.
Yeah.
I hope he's inspiration for other people to escape that trap.
You nailed it on the head. When you said it, man, it resonated. He was like, I'm really glad you said that. I am a creative person.
And free spirit.
That's right.
It's
cool, dude.
I wish I would, just like I'm sure he does, like, I wish he would have found that sooner. He would have found that out sooner. Mm-hmm. It took him getting laid off.
In its own time, man.
It took me leaving a job to go, okay, this isn't, I'm preaching it to my daughter.
10 years earlier, that wouldn't have mattered.
I'm preaching it to my daughter about like time, you know, health,
is the ultimate
family.
Currency. Yeah.
Time is so valuable because you don't know how much of you have it. You can't get it back, right?
Can't buy it.
And
you can buy time.
The whole like, I need to work in corporate America 9 to 5. I am encouraging her in the middle. I'm like, go to the gym, go get a massage. As long as the work gets done that day, what needs to get done, she's not like interacting with clients all day. Mm-hmm. She's doing a lot of the back end work. So
live,
I'm like, live, like enjoy this.
Yeah.
There's a way to enjoy this. I stop. I go out for a meal. I go to eat lunch with my wife or something. You know, I'm finding, when I was stuck behind the desk, or even when after COVID, just sitting at home, I was miserable. Everything was timed and checked. And
I think people feel guilty that, the job is being left undone for that hour or 2 hours. And they're like, oh, I'm not using that time productively. But you know how productive it is to take care of your fucking mind and your body and you do your work better.
It only takes a couple of times of you going, I'm going to take an hour or 2 hours. Like doctor's offices close for like 2 hours, 3 hours, right? It only takes a couple of times of you doing that, coming back and go, okay, I didn't lose a client. The world didn't end. Oh, I could do this. Now, you got to be very responsible. Like working at home is not for everybody.
Yeah.
Some people need that discipline of like, hey, you got to get the work done, and people will fall into binging and not getting the work done, right?
Yeah.
You have to be very disciplined to do it.
Yep.
But people think like it's not so easy to be disciplined to do it. And then it's always not when I started the marketing company, remember back in the day when Over the Limit, we did Over the Limit, I would not see a human being face to face for a couple of days.
And
sometimes
not good
I'd
for
be
your
home,
head,
I'd be working 12 hours, 16 hours a day. Maybe I would go to the gym at night and it'd be nobody there. Like I'd realize I have had zero human interactions other than email or phone calls. And it was like, it
even
wears on you. And I wasn't doing jiu-jitsu back then.
Even just a walk.
Yeah.
Go out in the neighborhood. You run into other people walking, jogging.
But I'm doing that walk and I'm going, oh my God, I could be doing this.
Yeah, don't be
getting
guilty.
This thing done, getting a business card done, sending something to print,
helping
with the website.
Clear the work out of your head for an hour. And then go back to it. And believe it or not, it's funny because people say, my wife said this to me, if I stop, I'm just going to kind of lose my place and something. Like, no. Think about the artist who paints. An artist does not sit and start and finish a painting. He goes for a while, then covers it up, leaves, forgets about the painting, comes back a few hours later, looks at it again, says, oh, I know what I got to do. Does a little more. After a week, he finishes the piece.
I do that with really important emails. I'll write an email.
Yeah, good.
I'll leave it. I'll save it in my draft, and I'll come back to
That's
it.
Smart.
And I'll go, wow, what was I
What the
thinking?
fuck was
And
I
change a
gonna
whole bunch
say?
of things. I told
Well,
that.
your
I preached that
attitude,
to my
your
daughter.
attitude sometimes conveys itself very,
Yeah.
like in the email. Like you could have been like hungry or agitated or
You know,
Whatever,
I,
yeah.
I think
Yeah, yeah.
I've heard this. It's Abraham Lincoln when he was angry at like another he would write a letter and never send it, but he
Yeah.
got it out.
yeah.
I told last week. I told
That's,
my wife.
I do that.
We were our
a good
daughter was
idea,
our stepdaughter. My stepdaughter was acting up a little bit, and I told my wife driving down. I had I went through speaking out loud the argument that I thought I was going to have with my daughter, like what I wanted to say.
Right.
And as I got further down and closer to the studio, I was less and less angry, and it just went away. And then when I talked to her and I was able to, it was just a conversation. But I was just like, I'm going to say this and I'm going to say that. And who do you think you are?
If you shake
but
a
I got it
bottle-
out, and then it went away.
If you shake a bottle of soda, just open the cap a little bit and let the pressure out. That's all it is. And we do that, and that's exactly it's a technique of just releasing the pressure by. So your brain doesn't know that you're imagining something or you're actually experiencing it. So when you go through that motion and you're envisioning the argument, your brain doesn't know you're not actually having.
I
the
feel
argument.
better. I feel better even though I haven't spoken to that person. I do it with my wife
Right.
too.
So
I'm
when
angry
it
at her.
happens, when I do this with posts on Facebook, I get really pissed off. I want to say something and call the world a bunch of dicks, and then I save it, but I never actually post it.
Yeah.
I do that with emails. I learned because I was blowing up customers with emails, like you're a fucking asshole.
Like, why aren't you answering me?
And then they call me back. What? What the fuck?
All right, so we don't want to run too long.
Yeah.
Listen, thank you everybody for joining us.
Especially Marco.
Marco, thank you for joining us.
Yeah,
we really
really
appreciate
short.
it.
That was great. It was
Gen X, baby.
inspirational.
Gen X.
We've got our rash guards and our shorts. The pre-order's still up. Don't forget to send your proof of purchase. If you purchase anything from any of our sponsors, including our stuff, send us a receipt. I still get a handful every once in a while. Send us a proof of purchase. We're going to enter you into our drawing for it's $250 of Jiu-Jitsu swag. So don't forget to send it. You can send it to @Jiu-Jitsu Dummies or info@Jiu-Jitsu Dummies. Excuse me, on Instagram @Jiu-Jitsu Dummies or info@Jiu-Jitsu Dummies. You can email it over. But I'm Milton Campus, Uncle Milty, BJJ on IG.
JJD_DJJ69.
Badworks, BADWERKS.
I don't know why I said my name.
Yeah.
I sound
I'm
like a
Milton
fucking
Campbell.
radio station.
I'm Milton Campus. Thank you for joining us. I'm like, why did I
I'm a
just
brown
do
belt
that?
training out of Southport.
Again, the intro. So again, again, Jiu-Jitsu Dummies on Instagram, on Facebook. You can check us out at Jiu-Jitsu Dummies podcast on TikTok, and that's it. Thank you for watching and listening, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Peace, love, Jiu-Jitsu.
Peace. Love, jiu-jitsu.